Go for it.
Action, activate. Here we come. There they go. Evil runs, 'cause they know we're super soldiers. We got cool clothes. You real smooth when you see our pose. Henshin, energize, mask on. Time to ride. Combine, crease ties. Side game.
Ho, what's happening there? It's you. It's me. It's...
Action activate.
Yes, and with me as always, I'm Gazbot, but with me as always is...
The big Dawg Defender.
That's right, we're here to talk and let you listen, and you can talk back in the form of text, either live here on Twitch or after the fact in the comments on YouTube. That's always lovely. So today, we are once again reviewing an episode of Beast Morphers, the newest episode that came out this past weekend, episode 15, and...
Yep.
In addition to that, I will be showcasing my art as usual. Up there, you could see last week's as voted on character Divatox, who was going to be at Ranger Stop, but just announced she's not going to make it because she hurt her leg surfing. So that's a bummer. It's a bummer that she hurt her leg.
Wow.
She's fine. She'll heal, but it's also a bummer that anybody who's interested in meeting her this Ranger Stop will not be able to. Hey, how you doing, Aki Dragu? Welcome to the show and to the chat. Hello, Real Babu. Real Babu
Howdy.
also gave us the intro today. That's Steve Andrino, who played Babu on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. He was our little shout out this morning. I've been reusing a few this morning. I say as it's 5 here and 8 on the East Coast. Iron CNSP man, hi, can't stay long today. Oh, well, thank you for spending the amount of time that you are able. Any amount is welcome, and you can always catch up on YouTube later on. But going back to art up here, let me turn this on, if I can. Boop. What do we got? Oh, why is that's already in the middle? Should restart that real quick. I don't know if I can. It's not from the very beginning because I started it on my iPad, so this is just when I moved it to Photoshop. This was not voted upon, but I wanted to do it. This is Jungle Fury Blue Jaguar, who will also be at Ranger Stop. And again, as Jungle Fury is one of, if not my favorite seasons, I felt I had to do this one. So that's what'll be going on up there. Divatox over there, Big Dog over here, Gazbot here. We'll do news after, unless there's anything you want to throw out. I say we just jump into the episode.
I agree with jumping back in. Little hint right there for this episode to Beast Morphers.
Uh-oh. I feel like that's going to mean you start hating Ravi, but Ravi didn't do anything terrible this episode. So
He didn't, but so initial thoughts before we jump into
okay.
stuff. What did you
Hi,
think?
Dolly Girl. I liked it. I thought it was a good episode.
I thought it was pretty good as well.
I think other than the Halloween one, which was like shockingly, surprisingly good, so it had that edge of like. Other than that, I think it's my favorite since we've been back from the break. Hey, Matt Claire.
I don't know how I would rank it, but like in terms of that since the break, but it's definitely up there. I did enjoy it. There are parts of the episode I really liked. Other parts I don't want to say I didn't like, but like question more.
Gotcha.
And let's just jump into it.
Okay. Well, the episode starts. It's called Sound and Fury, and it starts with Nate and Zoe interviewing for a lab assistant position. And this candidate is like, oh, I'm going to be great for this. And right now they work in Zord maintenance, but they're super, super into it. And while this is going on, Ben and Betty are meanwhile, she's like, well, what are you doing? He's like, well, right now we're working on the Sheeta Claws, and Ben and Betty are actually testing them right now. So we cut to Ben and Betty. And I feel like Betty, the actress who got to play Betty, had a really good time with this, basically getting to play Wolverine. And just like, you could tell she was like super into it.
I thought the person they were interviewing at first was Betty at a glance.
Oh, really? Let me go back.
Yeah, because I looked, and sometimes she does her hair that way, so that's why I was kind of like, oh, wait, that's not Betty.
Oh,
and, then we got the salad making kind of procedure.
Back to back, they certainly look different, but I had a weird vibe from her from the beginning. And Betty generally has a likable vibe, and this actress did a good job of, even when nothing had happened, I was like, what's with her? Like, she's like, and then very quickly she proved it because they're making salad and she's doing a good job. Like, they're like I like this little bit of comedy with them. It's almost like they're playing Fruit Ninja or something. So I was digging this.
Yeah.
But then of course it's like, oh, but it needs salad dressing, and he tosses the salad dressing, and of course now here comes the slapstick, sploosh. I'm fine. It didn't bother me. It was a fine little piece of business.
I was neutral.
I up until the salad dressing, I liked it. The salad dressing,
Same.
I was like, that's fine. It didn't ruin it for me. But I did like the faces of everybody when it exploded. Like Nate and Zoe are like, "What?" And again, here she also looks surprised, the interviewee, but she doesn't. She looks almost like she looks different than them. They're just surprised. She looks like, "What? Ew!"
Yeah.
Like kind of. And then she
Yeah.
says, I forget what she says. She says something like, um, I'll be a good fit, and it'll be good to get someone in here that like knows what they're doing or is competent or
Yeah.
something like that. Which on the surface is not that unfair to say, but being that we like Ben and Betty, we know them, and everybody's friends with them, and like you could tell that you're
Yeah.
supposed to be like, What's your problem?" And they even say like,
It
"Oh, Ben and."
leads in more to like that's the seed planted of like, oh, okay, and then we get to make our opinion of her as the episode progresses.
Yes, absolutely. But then, in case you weren't sure, though, she also comes out and has like a snark look on her face. Let me see real quick in chat. Iron Skin SP Man will not get rid of the comic relief characters as they're popular target demographic anytime soon. I don't mind comic relief characters, and I do think Ben and Betty are better than some that we've had in the past. Would I
Agreed.
prefer they be a little less slapstick? Yes, but I'm not inherently against comic relief characters. Look at like I mean, Steel is a comic relief character, and he's great.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not against comedy at all. Um,
Yeah.
but she's leaving, and she sort of has like a post on her face, like, So again, more
Yeah.
reinforcement that she's not that great. And I think she even says something like, "This job's gonna be mine, one way or the other." And it's like, what? Like,
For a second, I thought she was gonna like transform into Roxy, and
I
it's Roxy in
absolutely
disguise.
thought that several times this episode. And this was
Yup.
the first time where you see like a glow in the eyes. Maybe not be. I thought she'd be Roxy, or if not Roxy, some other monster undercover.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, you're just
But
bad.
here's the
Oh.
but I like that. And again, spoilers, that she is just a bad person. I really like
Yeah.
that because there are bad people in the world, and they don't all
I
have to be
like
aliens and monster.
I feel like that's the first time we've had to say that about a Power Rangers episode. Spoilers, they're just a bad
Yeah,
person.
it's true. Oh man, your two shot is a little
There's
messed up.
no monster. They're not mind controlled.
Nope,
They're just jerks.
they're just a bad person. Yeah, but again, it's because of that, it's something different, and I enjoy that.
Yeah.
Um, and that's part of what I liked about this episode was the monster stuff was interesting, but the human stuff, like in Grid Battle Force, like was equally interesting to me.
Yeah.
It wasn't cheesy. It wasn't like, oh, we got to save enough bottles to win the cupcake race for school or something. It actually there were
Yeah.
stakes, there was emotional content, and the cupcake race like we did.
It's honestly, it's one of those things. The more we found out that she wasn't a monster, the more I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, can she please be recruited by the bad guys? Like,
I,
I really want her to
that
like
thought has crossed my
turn
mind too.
into something.
Yes, that thought has absolutely crossed my mind. I want her to come back as a recurring character, and because
Yep.
maybe eventually Roxy gets freed and she becomes a normal human again, and then she could fill the role of the evil avatar or like fill that role if that
Yeah,
happens.
something.
Yeah. Let's see. Matt Kendall Clare, I really hated Megan since she was so rotten. However, it was nice to. Yeah, no, I didn't like the character. To be clear, she's a bad person, but also in that like
She
worst
did
kind
a
of.
great job.
Yeah, you know who she kind of reminded me of a little bit was like Dolores Umbridge from Harry Potter or somebody like that, who's like pretends to be all nice and I'm just trying to help, but is really like terrible. And
The
so
worst.
yeah, so there was a little bit of that veneer of trying to be nice while being a snake underneath. But the
Yeah.
actress did a good job for sure. So now we cut to the movies, and Nate's going to see this horror movie, Hydro Worm. It's a made-up movie, but it's obviously like a Godzilla schlocky kind of movie, which appeals to most people that would
Mhm.
watch Power Rangers. Like, oh, a cheesy sci-fi movie, you say? And then Zoe
Yeah.
just happens to show up, and she's like, oh yeah, I'm a big fan too. And it's like, okay, cool, let's see the movie together. Odd little side note, but whatever. That's just a little piece of their life. Won't come up again, I'm sure. Meanwhile, in
Yeah.
the cyber dimension of Red Evil, Blood Evil, Death Cyber, we see that Blaze has shown up with who? Tubatron again.
Tubatron.
And even Roxy and Skrulls are like, what? Him again? What do you? And he's like, no, I'm Tubatron 2.0. And they're like, okay, still, you're just, who cares? And Evox
Yeah.
is there for this meeting as well. And then, I kind of skipped a part, but Blaze is like, I found this box of powered up, glowy things. I don't know what they are, but they're awesome. And Scrozzle's like, those are mine. Those are my Fury gems. Give me those. And Blaze just kicks him in the face. She's like, get out of here. Which
Dude, I love that. He's just like, whoop, get out.
Yeah, I love that because Scrozzle is smart, but he's not shown to be a fighter. And Blaze is like this evil guy that, yeah, why wouldn't he just kick him in the face? And especially because episode before last, when they had the first Tubatron, they were testing him out on Blaze. So clearly Roxy and Scrozzle have a little anti-Blaze thing going on, so Blaze doesn't mind fighting back. Let's see. Yeah.
Another note is that we get an unmorphed kind of action moment, which I appreciated. Full costume, he's just whoop, and we know that
True.
it's I forget the actor's name, but
Sorry, you cut out.
I said I forget the actor's name, but I liked how we got to see that nice sidekick from.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I also cannot recall his actor's name right now. In chat, let's see. Iron Cena's P-Man. I was thinking more Tremor type movie. Yeah, Tremor works, but Tremor is like like one step away from Godzilla. It's a giant monster movie. You know, there's a sort of a through line to people that like that sort of movie. But yeah, Tremor's probably is closer. The real Babu.
Tuba.0.
Tuba.0, yeah, there you go. Tuba.ooh. I'm not going to clear Fury Cells, but close enough. Well, yeah, but he didn't. I don't think Blaze called them Fury Cells. I think it wasn't until Scrozzle said they're Fury Cells. I thought Blaze was like, they're something, you know. Colby is Blaze's actor's name. There you go. Colby Strong, right? Or Colby Smothers?
Probably.
No, Colby Smothers is the actress that is on something else. How I Met Your Mother, maybe?
How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah,
and,
all right. Shield.
She's Maria Hill.
Yes. All right. So here are the Fury Cells, and you can see they're sort of red glowing crystals with like you can always tell there's like that evil fire of like, well, this is power, but it's unstable. And even the things like that hold it are like these crazy spiky things. Like
those are odd.
Yeah. I mean, they look very evil, and so that makes sense, but it is odd. Yeah. Matt Clear, yep, Strong is correct for the last name. Thank you. So now we cut back to the movie, and apparently this does have something to do with the episode because we see Megan, the evil lab assistant, sees Zoe and Nate together and decides they're on a date, which they're not. They just bumped into each other and they're friends and whatever. And she's like, oh, Rangers aren't allowed to date. And again, this is where I thought she was going to be Roxy, because Roxy had the whole thing like, we can't date and this and that. But no, she's just going to try to blackmail them. So she starts filming them. And they're not doing anything that incriminating. They're sharing popcorn. They're goofing around. They're not doing anything you couldn't just do with a friend. So it's
the jacket is what gets them.
I've given my jacket to friends before. It's like, you know.
I know. I'm not saying it incriminates that. I'm saying it's something that needs to be explained out of context.
It's very circumstantial, though. It's certainly not proof. And it's, you know, but she's filming them. And
grasping at straws.
Right. They get a call though, and they run off because hey, the detector's gone off. They meet up with the rest of the team. Ravi's like, look, it's Tubatron again. That's Ravi's big moment. So I don't think that was enough to make you hate him again. Unless I'm wrong. Am I wrong? Did you hate the way he pointed?
No, you're fine.
Okay. So Blaze is there. He's like, yeah, but he's gonna be better than before because he's got his little box of Fury Cells, and he powers them up, and he gets all glowing and supercharged. And they're like, well, we've dealt with this before. They morph up, and they think it's going to know how it's going to go, but we know how it's going to go. He starts hand-to-hand fighting, and the hand-to-hand fighting wasn't too bad. Like, he seemed strong, but...
That was all right.
Yeah, the action was fine, not anything special, but also he wasn't, like, overwhelming them yet. Like, until he hits Ravi, and Ravi goes flying, and it's like, oh, he might be stronger than before. Then they make their first mistake.
Go see
For some reason, your sound keeps clipping today, but I appreciate that. Yeah, like the beginning and end of a lot of your
sentence. A little choppy on my end, too.
Oh, that's weird. Well, hopefully everybody else could hear us, and it's not too bad, but nothing I could do about it right this second, unfortunately.
Very true. Iron Cena's P-Man. Yeah. See, this was the biggest jump in logic to say dating in Power Rangers as I've gone to the cinema with friends. Yeah,
same.
We're in agreement that Megan's just the worst, and any little bit she can get to try to get people is what she's gonna do.
Yeah, even if it's like just circumstantial and not even true. But the rest of the Rangers, Ravi gets knocked down. Like, oh, we gotta get serious.
They get their swords,
which is what a mistake. Why? Why is that a mistake?
Why is which part of a mistake? Say it again.
They said we need more power. Let's get our weapons, and they called on their swords. Why is that a mistake?
Because guns have solved every problem.
Guns have solved every problem. Yeah. Why would they pull out swords? That was the wrong weapon, is my point. I appreciate that you have one and you also have the gun, but let me tell you, if I'm on the Go Busters team, that sword is never getting called. Yeah, there you go. That's how you win fights. I'm not anti-sword normally, but in this season, swords are terrible. So they start
Yeah.
fighting, and as proof, Tubatron blasts and Ravi's sword explodes, which was awesome. I like
That
that.
was really cool.
That was like that's not something you see all the time, and it's just like he's like, wow. Not only is he physically stronger, but he could like wreck their weapons. And so then they start fighting the Tronics, or I should say, some of them start fighting the Tronics, meaning Zoe and Ravi. And then
Mhm.
Steel and Nate are fighting Blaze, and that fight is like the most even match because the Rangers always wipe the floor with the Tronics, and Tubatron is
Mhm.
defeating Devin pretty easily. But the Blaze Steel Nate fight was the most even. That was the one that had the most stakes to me. So I'm like, oh, I don't know who's going to win this fight. There actually was a chance
Yep.
either one could go. Iron CSP man, let's use swords on a long range monster. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Thank you, Iron CSP man. You were exactly right. So Tubatron's about to hit Devin, and he uses his cheetah speed. And again, I love how much they use their powers. I'm concurrently watching Dino Thunder, which I enjoy, but they all have these special powers that they never use. And watching Beast
Yeah.
Morphers, I'm like, I like Dino Thunder a lot, possibly better than Beast Morphers, but but the fact that they don't use their powers drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Does that
It
side
is
note that
frustrating.
surprises you that I might like Dino Thunder better?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't watched it in a long time, but I feel like inherently, this may be a hot take. Inherently, I feel like you should like this better because a lot of the mistakes, as you just mentioned, for Dino Thunder are being fixed with Beast Morphers
Sure,
most of the
but
time.
I'm also giving Dino Thunder. Watching Dino Thunder as, hey, this came out 15 years ago. I'm not watching it through the lens of 15
I
seasons worth of lore.
know, whatever.
I also really like the villain in Dino Thunder a lot. I like what's his name?
Zeltrax?
No, not Zeltrax. Oh, I do like Zeltrax, but no, the main villain,
Um,
the reptilian, the
oh,
Sauron,
Mesogog.
Mesogog. I like Mesogog better than Evox as a main villain. Um,
Yes,
yeah,
Evox is only been in like a third of the
yeah, I
episodes.
find him completely uninteresting. Luckily, his lieutenants are interesting, but that's just the thing. Mesogog has interesting lieutenants too, so he's just got like a better. There's a better cast of villains, I think, overall, consistently in Dino Thunder, and I like what they've
Yeah.
been doing with the White Ranger. We're not talking about Dino Thunder. My point was that in Dino Thunder they don't use the powers a lot. In this one they do, and I like that. That was my point.
Yeah.
So he's using his super speed, but it doesn't matter. Tubatron still catches him with his blast. He goes flying, and here we see the cracked helmet visor, which we haven't seen in a little while. And it I don't remember the last time I've seen it. It always makes me think of
Time Force is the last time I can
Time
think of
Force is what it always makes
immediately.
me think of. I'm sure it's happened since then, but I feel like that was the big
Yeah.
iconic one. I think maybe Lost Galaxy did it
Hmm.
as well, actually. Um,
That was before.
oh, you're right. You're right. Okay. So, but I dig it. I mean, I didn't see it coming either. Like I saw him getting hit, and I was like, oh, he's gonna demorph or whatever. And then he's like, my visor. And I like the sort of the panic of like this is the first time he's like taken real damage, and I don't know. I dug it. It was a cool moment. On
It
chat
was
real
good.
quick.
The
Back in
one thing that bummed
yeah.
me out. Oh, go for it.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say the one thing that bummed me out about him using his cheetah speed is I was like, oh, they needed the little orb thing to take it. Now we got to use that another episode.
I thought about that, but going back to what I was saying before, it seems like Roxy and Scrozzle are a little bit more on the same page, and it's Scrozzle's plan mainly. So maybe Blaze is like, I don't need your stupid plan. Like, behind the scenes, I could see them not syncing up that way. He also stole these fuel cells, these
Yeah,
Fury cells from Scrozzle. So I don't think Scrozzle's like, oh, you stole my stuff? Well, okay,
true.
here, use that. Like, I could see the evil politics behind the scene making it not go that way.
The other thing that bugged me in retrospect about the Fury cells is that I wanted them to do a throwaway line saying it had to be used on technology. Otherwise, in this fight with Tubatron taking on pretty much everybody, if Blaze used one as well, there's no reason they couldn't have taken out the Rangers.
True. But isn't Blaze technology? He's an avatar. He's not a person.
No, well, he's not hardware.
Well, okay, you said technology, but yeah, I could see that, but maybe like I said, it has this energy coming off it. Maybe it's this untested raw energy, and Blaze is smart enough to be like, I'm not gonna test this on me, like like taking steroids or something, or like some unstable drug.
I
Like
feel like he would because he doesn't have a lot to lose.
he cares about himself, though. I mean,
But he also cares about beating the Rangers before Roxy can.
yeah, but not if he's not around to see it later. I take it as self-preservation. I'll take.
I don't think he would have had that much forethought on this when they didn't say, all it says was it powered things up. It didn't say any drop.
It's untested though. This is the first time it's been used. It might not know. My explanation is better than yours because you don't have one.
I have an
What's
explanation.
your explanation?
all they say is that they're rare. There's
Mhm.
only a handful left,
Right.
and then it gives you a massive power bump.
That's all,
And
and you think that's all, you don't think there's a chance there is?
here is the thing: if there was such a bad like background with it, why would the Rangers want it so bad?
The
And why
Rangers
would he
don't know.
freak out that the Rangers got it?
Well, the Rangers don't know what its background is, and they would freak out because the Rangers could still get powered up, even if it hurts them in the long run. It could still help them win the fight. And Scrozzle might know that there's side effects, but he's like, "Well, you stole them from me. Go ahead, use it, whatever, idiot." You know, like.
No, I don't think so.
So then,
I
what? Why
think
do you
if
think
somebody
Blaze
were
didn't
to
use it?
have reservations, it would be Nate over Blaze.
Why do you think Blaze didn't use it?
There's not a good reason.
Well,
why
this
he
comes back
didn't.
to my
That's what
reason
I'm
being
saying.
better because I have a reason and you have no reason.
No, my reason is it doesn't make sense why he wouldn't
So
use
you're
it.
saying
And
you're saying bad writing, it's stupid, and I'm saying here's a reason it could happen in universe.
I'm saying I think an afterthought that could have easily been addressed by one line.
Which is?
That it has to be used on hardware.
I would rather it say, well, okay, but you're suggesting ways it could be fixed, but without that, you're saying you just think it's bad writing. Period.
Because he could have used it and had it benefit him more.
I feel
whereas
like you
Devin
wait.
used it on his
Okay, right,
cause.
yes. So you're saying it's bad writing. Why will you not
Yes.
agree with that statement?
I did agree with it.
Oh, okay, but I say you saying it's bad rating, and you go, I'm saying this. I'm like, you're saying it's bad rating. You're like, what I'm saying is this. You're saying it's bad rating. Well, I'm saying so. You're saying it's bad rating.
Sure.
Okay, bad rating.
No, I know.
Let's
Let's catch up on chat.
yeah. Good.
Oh, Iron CNSP Men said the last time we saw the cracked visor was during the anniversary episode last season with Tommy when he was done with it.
Oh, I think you skipped some stuff, but yeah, okay.
Oh, Matt Kendall Claire said
fun fact for
Mesgog,
later.
and there's a fun fact later. I like the red lines as it makes it look more realistic than times where it clearly they just cut a section out. Yeah, fair.
Yeah, like some crack lines.
Yeah. And then Matt Kendall Claire said something.
He
and
said,
then
I have a
lol.
point, Ninja Steel. He literally said point right in it. Ninja Steel.
Whatever.
All right, let's move on. So that's actually that's where the opening credits are. So we're about a third of the way in now. So he's
Stronger than before. Beast Morphers. Got the chaos energy crystal. That Blaze doesn't use bad writing.
There, see, finally you're owning it.
Ranger 3. Lightning Collection. Next fall. We'll talk about that later.
Oh, I was giving you a one shot. You were doing a whole show for us. I felt like I didn't want to interrupt.
Nah, just the 4 lines is all you get.
All right, fair enough. Couple bars.
I'm sure for the thumbnail though, me singing and doing that face is going to be quite the use.
We'll see. Probably not, because it won't. I don't think it'll translate you singing. We'll see.
Just me going.
Hold on, wait. Let me get you in a one shot. Do that again.
Yeah.
Maybe I will now, because when you're a little like small piece in the show, it's hard to use those expressions. But if you're a big one shot, anyway, Iron
you
CSP
should
Man.
put me in the tuba hole for Tubatron.
Iron CSP Man says, I want a completely new theme next time. I would like that, but I feel like they're always going to have a little bit of the go-go callbacks. But I feel like this theme was the most different that we've had since Saban bought it back. It was it still went back to the go-go, but it was a little different. But it would be cool to hear something completely different next time. I agree. I still say they should get Pelican to do it.
They never will.
No, but what'd you say, Big Dog?
Oh, I was gonna say while we're continuing through, I'm curious in chat what people's favorite theme songs are other than Mighty Morphin. You can't use that one.
Good question. So he's knocked down. We see the fight going on in the background. They're all busy to help him. But here comes Cruz out of nowhere, which is cool because I was saying how we don't see the Beast bots much anymore. And he does this sort of like...
Yeah, it's like, oh, where have they been? And then I love you. He's like, I'll always have your back, except when I'm not in these episodes because bad writing has left me out.
Truth. But he does come in and do this cool, like he kicks him with his back tire, which I thought was kind of fun. And then it's weird that he doesn't transform. I'm guessing that's like a budget thing that they didn't want to have to like have that.
Probably.
But he's like, hey, Devin, I'm here. I'll always have your back. And around that time, Zoe and Ravi finish the Tronics, and which is a weird thing they've been doing a lot. Like they all disappear at once. It's one thing if they like open fire and they hit a bunch of them, but they were fighting hand to hand, and it's almost like they beat them all, and then they laid on the ground, and then all disappeared at the same
And
time.
it's like, and we're gone.
Yeah, I feel like that's just to save production costs or whatever, but whatever. So then he's they like, okay, let's get him, and Devin's kind of like, no, he's too powerful. I don't think this is gonna work. But let's. Oh, I'm sorry. That's after they get hit. They're like, let's get him.
Yeah.
Then they go flying. They all demorph, and then Devin's like, okay, you guys get out of here. You take Cruz. He'll get you out here. And what does Devin do? What does smart Devin smartly do? Yes, he pulls
Not
out his gun.
morphed. He's like, you know what'll help me in
Yes.
this situation?
Yes.
A gun.
Unmorphed, he uses his gun and does more damage to Tubatron than we've seen him take the entire episode. So, once again, guns, it might not have beat him, but it was the most powerful move. In chat, it looks like people are responding to your question. Oh, hey, friend, it's Samurai Ox. Welcome aboard, sir.
Samurai Ox, welcome
Haven't
back,
seen you in
sir.
a minute. Matt Kendall
know.
Clare says, my favorite themes were Zeo, In Space, Galaxy, SPD, and Dino Charge. Iron CNSP Man says, top 3, Dino Thunder, Lightspeed, and Mystic Force. Unfitting for the show, but I really like the opening riff. And what was the one with Genji? Oh, Samurai Ox. What was the one with Genji?
I think that is Mystic Force, because Genji,
Okay.
I think, is the cat.
Okay.
I
Well,
remember
as
correctly.
long-time viewers will know, I have not seen Mystic Force, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Matt Kendall Clare says yes. Okay. They both said yes, so it's Mystic Force. And then definitely one of my favorites as well, Samurai Ox, I guess, watched Mystic Force. That's funny, because I know Samurai Ox has not watched
It's
a lot of
funny,
Power Rangers.
Mystic Force, fun fact, Big Dog Knowledge Zone, haven't had one of these in a while. So originally, Ron Wasserman had come up with a rock-based theme song for Mystic Force, and they ultimately didn't take it, which is how they had the kind of hip-hop themed Mystic Force theme song that was the actual one for the show. And then there was a sub-theme in the show where one of the characters was very into music, and we had definitely some sounds used throughout episodes. I won't necessarily call it music, but there were sounds that were meant to be music.
Why? Do you know why they went with hip hop instead of rock for that season?
Try to be hip. I don't know.
Hop. Hip to the
I
hop.
said
You
hip,
don't stop
hop,
dropping.
hippie,
Hip to the hop.
hippie, hippie, hip, hop, but don't stop.
The bip bop bring the beat.
Beep a doop a doop.
Ninja Steel.
Action activate. Scat time.
Activate.
Boop 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 a doop.
Let's see. Samurai Ox, kapow with the lightning from Power Rangers. Thank you for that, kapow. So meanwhile, Devin's holding him off with the blaster. Then he activates his super speed cheetah mode in civilian mode, which I also always like, because it's like, yeah, you got the powers.
Same.
Still, he charges in, and I thought he was going to attack. I'm like, why would he attack? But no, he was escaping. So this whole thing
Yeah, I
made
know. I
perfect
thought
sense.
the same thing.
Take Cruz, you guys get out of here. I'll use the most powerful weapon in the show, the gun, and then use my super speed to escape. Great strategy, great leadership.
Yep.
Now we cut back to the Blaze fight, and we get Steel and Nate use their new combo finisher move, and they hit Steel, which any other monster that wasn't like a recurring character would be destroyed, but he just sort of like glitches out a whole bunch, and he's like, oh, well, I'm still fine, but I don't want to fight anymore because that hurt. And he holds
I'd
up the...
probably feel a lot better if I had one of these crystals that
Right.
Yaz is arguing
I'm
with
just
me
going to
about,
shake him at you. No, but he's smart. He sees that fire coming off it, and he's like, this looks unhealthy for me. And I got to watch out for myself inside now, So he teleports back with the crystals, but Nate and Steel did manage to keep one. So we get back to the base, and they're talking to the commander like, look, they're wrecking our equipment. What are we going to do? I don't know how we're going to deal with this. And then Nate's like, I have one crystal. I could use it to power up the armor I've been working on, which is crazy because the armor he was working on that was going to be powered up with Morph X was already going to be more powerful. So we're like skipping a phase. Like I thought we'd get the armor and then it would get super powered, but it's like, no, we're just going to go straight to super powered armor.
We don't want to build two armors. We're just going to build the one.
Well, I thought it would be the same armor, but it would get like a red glow or like, just hit harder or something. You know what I mean?
No, do not pass go. Do not hit $200. Just jump straight over to the boardwalk.
Don't hit $200. That's not how you spend money. Matt Kendall Clare is laughing at us being silly again, and Iron C again. It's constant. Sometimes it's like Bruce Banner, like I'm always silly. That's our secret. Iron CSP Man producers wanted to be different and stand out from the rest, and because Ron leaked his theme, he will never be back. Oh, so I did not know that. I know he did
I didn't
most
know
of the
he
music.
leaked it.
And that wow, I wonder. Well, considering things have changed so many times over the years, I wonder if he would ever come back. Like now, with Hasbro and
That'd be
everything.
great.
That'd be pretty cool. Maybe get him and Pelike to team up. Have him write the song, and then Pelike like coolify it. For those that don't know Pelike, he's this guy. I think he's Swedish.
I thought you were gonna say, for those that don't know what coolify means.
For those that don't know what coolify is, first of all, you gotta snip it, snap it. You gotta flip it and flap it, and you turn your hat backwards and you walk like this. You don't care about anybody or nothing, and you just wear sunglasses and say, "Ooh, cool. Now you're coolified."
Coolio.
That is how it happened in Power Rangers. Like some nerd would get hit with the coolify gun, and he would just be like sunglasses and like, hey, pop
And
his
he'd have a
collar
leather
up.
jacket.
Yes,
Oh no, that's only if he turned bad.
if he turns evil. Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see. Samariak says, I'm still many episodes.
Pelike is what you were gonna say.
I'm still many episodes behind, but did they only have the 3 Rangers, or did we get more? We have 5 Rangers. There's the 3 main Rangers. Nate, who we're looking at on screen right now, who was the main scientist, is now the Gold Ranger. And actually, if I go back one, and you see that robot behind him, that is Steel. That is his half brother. He's half robot, half human that Nate created. So these are the 5 Rangers now. So that is where we were at as far as good Rangers.
Yep.
I was just saying Pelike, he's a musician. You can find him on YouTube and stuff. And he, among other things, does a lot of covers. And he did a mega mix of every Power Rangers theme song from the first one up until Super Mega Force. And it's like 8 minutes
Dino
long.
Charge. I thought.
Oh, Dino Charge. No, he did Dino Charge, but it's not part of that mega mix. Anyway, look him up. He does like these. It's cool. It's like metal stuff, which is not normally my favorite kind of music, but it's fun to hear. Like he does anime themes, stuff like that too. Let's see. Iron Scene's Man. Disney didn't want him back, and I don't know why Saban hasn't called him back. Matt Kendall Clare says, LOL, Pelike does some cool remix themes. Absolutely. And Samurai Ox says, oh, nice. Okay, so these guys are walking, and she's like, Nate's saying, oh, I still haven't gotten an assistant. We need an assistant to get the armor ready. Zoe, can you pick? I'm not good at reading people, which is obviously true because, he didn't get anything that's been going on with anybody this episode. And she's like, sure, no problem. And then here comes Megan, and she's like, oh, hi. And she gives her like the shoulder bump. Look at this fun video I have of you and your boyfriend. And Zoe's just like, what? You're so evil. like she's so goody two shoes, which I love about her, that she's not even like, oh my God, how dare you? Like, it takes her a while to figure out. She's like, wait, what? Are you blackmailing me? Like, she's shocked, and I love it. And it's such a genuine response. And again, going back to like the Nurse Ratched, Dolores Umbridge, Megan's like, oh sweetie, no, I'm just trying to save you from having to do this, and I just want a job. And she gives these like sugary sweet evil faces. And basically, Zoe's all freaked out now, and like, what are we gonna do? Is Zoe gonna cave to blackmail? I guess we'll have to wait and find out. Nope. Next scene, she's already the lab assistant immediately. She's clearly Zoe said, yep, it's you, Nate. Hire her, and then they're working on the main project together that quick.
That was a good face you got there, by the way.
Oh, the little
Yeah.
Let me see. The Iron Scene is Man. The Titanium Ranger does music and said he would come back to the show, so who knows? Oh, like the actor who does
Rhett Fisher.
So maybe he would come back, do some acting and musicking. Why not? Samurai Ox, is the Blue Gorilla still handing out those great hugs? We have Smash the Blue Gorilla has not been in it very much lately. He was in it. Robbie had an episode.
He's the least featured Beastbot by far.
Yeah, I think that's true. Although Jax hasn't really had much.
But Jax comes in randomly and does his.
Hey, I got wheels for feet here. I got wheels for hands.
Hey, I'm walking here.
Can I get a dirty water dog? Thank you very much. All right, so Lord Danny. Hello, Lord Danny. Welcome aboard to Action Act Fit, where we discuss Power Rangers, among other things. We're more than halfway through the episode now of Beast Morphers. So she got this job through illicit means. She hates Ben and Betty, and now she's like giving Nate crap about his calculations. Like, are you sure this is gonna work? And he's like, yeah, I'm sure, it's fine. I've been doing this like the whole show. Get out of here. I invented all of this. And then he makes a point.
I'm a genius.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's possible he could have gotten it wrong and she was correcting him, but we find out that no, she knows he's right. Well, either she knows he's right and just wants to give him crap for no reason, or she is setting up like for the lie. Any way you slice it, she's being a jerk. But then he's like, here you go, put half of this in. Half exactly. Look, there's a line right here for easy reference. Just half. Half, okay? Will you do half? And she's like, and she literally goes, oops. And it's like, wow, this lady is the worst. And then of
Yeah.
course it starts exploding, and she's like, oh Nate, what did you do? You know. And then
He's not dumb. He's just like, you clearly did something wrong.
yeah. And so it starts flying towards the group. And what I like about this is we've had this sort of dynamic and shot before, but now there's actual danger. Like it's a claw weapon coming at them.
Yeah.
And I believe we cut to commercial here and then come back. And it's zooming around the room very much like the basketball. Very similar effect. Not as bad. I didn't love it.
Yeah.
It's still a little bad CGI, but at least it's like, okay, it's rocket powered, there's smoke. It like conceivably could be doing this, unlike the basketball a couple weeks ago where it made no sense. Now here's something, well, actually let me check chat real quick. Iron CNSP man, so I like that they changed this Grid Battle Force logo from silver to gold.
Yeah.
Nate, you mean? Yeah, that makes
says
sense.
It later.
And then yeah, Matt enjoying my impression again. For Nate, yeah, that makes sense. I agree. So they're scared. She looks scared here too, which is weird. Since like, what did she think was gonna happen? Unless she's just acting scared.
I think she's like legitimately scared. She just didn't fully
Oh,
think of the consequences.
like I'm gonna make this go wrong. Oops, I might have went too far, kind of thing.
It's like, I might actually get impaled right now.
Yeah.
Ooh, awkward.
Now let me put up this. Ben and Betty get caught in the middle of it, and it's just swirling around them like an energy tornado, a colorful energy tornado. A green, colorful energy tornado. What does that remind you of?
Stop it.
It makes me
Stop.
think of when
Don't give me hope.
It makes me think of the Beast Morpher transformation sequence. Also, this is a little bit spoiler territory maybe from the Go Busters. There is a green Go Buster that isn't in it very much. I think he was just in a movie or something.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Don't give me hope, Gaz.
I'm just saying.
I can't handle it. You know how much I've been rooting for that.
I'm just saying. But let me put it even further. If that happened, there'd only be one ranger. But maybe it'd be like a firestorm scenario where the two of them merged and they're in it and they're like arguing about what to do and
I was thinking of that too.
Yeah, I would love that. That again, good comedy. I would be for that. Let's see. So Iron Pan. Let's see. Hey Tony, what's going on? Where do I call what you're saying? Yeah, that's my Discord. Although I don't normally go on there very often, to be honest. What are you calling? This is if you want to chat, you can throw a chat in, but it's just me and the big dog. We're not allowing other people to call in. There's also a Iron Pan. There's also a black and pink Go Buster, but pink never got a suit. Well, if they don't get a suit, then they're just support staff, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's true.
All right, so here, luckily they're okay. Their hair got all crazy and their suits get cut up, but somehow they didn't actually get injured, which is a little bit unbelievable, but whatever, comedy.
Yeah.
So she's like immediately like, I told you this was gonna be bad. I'm getting out of here. You're wrong. And he's like, what? And she's smart to leave quickly because, as we later find out, Nate is not the type to just take that lying down because she goes to report it to the commander. And she's like, Nate, I tried to warn him and this and that. And Zoe comes in and she's like, what are you talking about? And Nate storms and he's like, nuh-uh, my calculations were right. You're crazy. Get out of here. I found the container. Here's proof. Forget it. And then Zoe's like, also, she tried to blackmail me. And then the commander's like, yeah, no, it's true. She's like, I have this video. I followed them and look. And the commander's like, do you hear what you're saying? And she's like, well, yeah, when I say it out loud, like, yeah. And she's like, get out of here, security. So I enjoyed how quickly this was resolved, how everyone was on the same page, how there was no, wait, Nate, did you mess up? And Zoe, are you dating? There was none of that. It was just like, you're trying to blackmail people, get out of here. That's all we need to know.
This was the best I had seen the commander in a while. The only other time I can remember is when Ben and Betty's dad said something in an earlier episode, and she was like, all right, I'm not saying go do this thing, but
agreed.
You know, and then other times she's a jerk.
Yeah.
Shout out Lupin Green on YouTube.
Iron CNSP man. Black got a suit. He was in the movie with Green. Gotcha.
Nice.
So then that's handled. And then Steel comes in and is like, I totally forget what he said here, but basically like, hey, we got a call, let's go. And so I forgot a Steel joke earlier. Steel didn't have a lot of jokes, but when Tubatron came back out, they're like, it's Tubatron again. He's like, well, kudos to them for recycling. Like, again, I like Steel's comedy. That was good. I enjoyed it.
Every single line he has delivered, I have not been mad at. And
Not
no,
I have
no,
liked.
here's what
but-
I mean.
You're
No,
such a
no,
rage
here's what I
monster.
mean. I
That's
don't
your
mean
version of I like it.
Yeah, I'm not saying I was actually mad at anything he said. I'm just saying, like, oh yeah, like if there were kind of like what we said for the physical comedy with Ben Betty. Some of them, like, I don't like that.
Right.
Every single joke and pun he has made, I'm all for it.
Agreed. Agreed. Um, let's see. Iron Steam Span. Depending on the state, it's a crime to record people without their permission. If it's in California, like most PR show it is.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean that. Well, whether or not it's a crime to film them, blackmail is certainly a crime. And even if it's not a crime, you don't want someone working for you
Frowned
that would.
upon.
Yeah, it's frowned upon. Matt Clear, it was so funny how Commander Shaw was so close to saying something mean about Megan, even though she would have deserved it. True. Iron Steam fan Jay in the Sentai is okay. I don't want to get too much into the Sentai. I appreciate the info, but let's. I only wanted to bring up the suit mainly to tease Big Dog. I don't want to go too far down the Sentai rabbit hole.
Look at what happened. You tried to tease me, and where did it bring you?
Down the
Back
Sentai
to
rabbit hole.
spoiler territory.
It's true. So they get to the site, and Devin's like, "Here we go! I'm in super mode now." He's not in super mode, but he knows he's gonna be. And so they show up, and he's like, "Oh, what makes you think it's gonna go any different this time?" And they're like, "Cause I got this." Now he holds up the new what is it called? Fury armor, I guess is what they're calling it.
Yeah,
Fury
something.
mode. But it's interesting because he has like the new morpher or the new henshin device or whatever, but on his wrist he has the crystal, the cell, and the spiky thing. It's just weird. It's like shouldn't it be one or the other or they
It
go
looks
together?
odd, yeah.
But it looks like and also it still looks evil. Like Nate didn't redesign it at all. It still looks very evil,
Yeah.
which again makes me think like maybe it's an unstable power that he shouldn't be using.
Nah.
Yeah, okay. Well, so then he turns it on, but they haven't tested it. So he starts glowing and he kind of gets gauntlets and he's like, "Is that it?" And Nate's like, "No, we need time." So then again, a kind of a cool strategy move. All the other Rangers are gonna like be human shields because like we can't beat him. You're the only one that can beat him. Yes, yes. Thank you.
I give full props to everyone in this scene,
Yes.
and I actively liked every single person for what they did.
Agreed. And cinematically, it was cool because we see Ravi and he gets blown away. Then we see Steel and he gets blown away. Then we see more of the armor powering up. And then, we cut back. They're still getting blown away. Then, okay, there's Nate and Zoe and they get blown away. And then we cut back and he's getting more powered up. And as each of them sacrifices themselves, he gets more powerful until finally he powers up fully. And even just the act of powering up hits Tubatron and like staggers him a little bit. And now he's all done with his armor. Now, this
One
is
quick note
yes.
before the full armor part. One thing I also liked from a story perspective is they didn't know how long each person could last. Unfortunately, they all lasted about the same amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
But without talking about it, they all went in the order you would think.
Right.
Ravi is the most like a tank, so
Yes.
he went first.
Yep.
And then after that, it was Steel, I believe.
Yes.
And then the other two
Kinda
were
together.
very squishy, so they went together,
Agreed.
and it just made sense.
Yes.
And I really appreciated that.
I agree. Like I said, strategy in this episode is all written well. The human stuff is written well. Like it's a good episode. Even talking about it, I'm liking it more. The more I talk, like it's weird because the action, the wow factor of like look at this crazy stuff that happened wasn't really high. But just solid writing, with the exception of Blaze not using the crystal, in your opinion, I feel like it could be justified. But even with mine, there should have been a line. We both agree that they could have justified it better. But with the exception of that, the writing is just like makes sense and is solid and logical. Let's see real quick on chat. Iron CNSP man, not the worst battleizer for counting it as that, but I wouldn't say the best. I do think it is a battleizer, yes.
I think it's a half battle. Like it's a powered up mode. I wouldn't consider it a battleizer.
Well, if he's the only one that gets it, I consider it a battleizer.
I don't think he's going to be the only one that gets it.
If they all get it,
point that there's 4.
Okay. But there's 5 Rangers, so it'd be weird.
Yeah, but there's 3 core Rangers.
Okay, well, I will say this. I don't know what the designation, how the difference is between a powered up and a battleizer. For me, if the whole team gets it, it's powered up. If it's just one Ranger or 2 Rangers or whatever, then that's a battleizer. Example would be Lost Galaxy. They all had the
Lights of
Orion. That's a powered up mode. But then Leo had his own battleizer. His own powered up battleizer mode.
Oh, so here's one that I'm curious your opinion on. In Lightspeed Rescue, would you consider all of the core male Rangers having battleizers or powered up mode?
Those are battleizers, and here's why. Not everybody got one, and they were all individual and distinct. It wasn't like they all got the same shield or they all got the same glow. So I do consider those battleizers, yes.
Fair. Me too.
Okay. Let's see. Samurai Ox. So he essentially, oops, sorry. So he essentially turned into a Cord himself. Zord.
Oh,
Oh,
Zor.
Zord.
Oh.
What's funny is I not really, but going back to the battleizer thing, a lot of battleizers are so big and clunky they almost become mini Zords, where they have like a big armored
Yeah.
backpack and wings and all this other stuff, where they sort of become mini
Yeah.
Zords. This I don't see that way, but I still at this point consider it a battleizer unless everybody gets one. Let's see, Iron Steam's green and
Yeah.
blue are mega battlers. Talking about Lightspeed, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Question
Yeah.
for you and for Chad.
Yeah.
What are your guys' favorite battleizers?
Um, Off the top of my head, I might be wrong about this, but off the top of my head, I go to Lost Galaxy. I don't know
I was
why,
thinking the same. I
but
really like it.
and I think part of it was the fight was really good
Yeah.
when he used
Same.
it. Um, Being who I am, I want to say in space because it was the first one, so there's that like
Yeah.
landmark. And for a long time, I was saying that Lost Galaxy was the first one, and I realized it's because like, oh, it's the first one I really liked. I didn't love the in
Yeah.
space one. It had that weird muscle suit that I wasn't a fan of.
Yeah.
So yeah, I off the top of my head, I say Lost Galaxy. Although if I really went through it, I might realize I'm mistaken.
Um, I'm leaning toward Lost Galaxy would be the first thing I thought of.
Right.
The more I think about it aesthetically, I really like the one from Dino Thunder actually.
I like the idea of Dino Thunder, and luckily I've actually gotten to that part in the season because like the stripes become like pointy spikes. I like that.
Yeah.
But watching it, they're so rubbery when they run. It's like so obvious. They're like little rubber flibbles. That takes away from it. I feel like in an action figure or in a comic, I would like it more. In live action, I could just see the seams too much.
Okay.
Um, you disagree?
You and I are talking about two very different things.
Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, spoiler territory for Dino Thunder. You're right. That's the powered up mode. That's the powered up
Yup.
mode. The Battleizer mode, and I did get to it. So again, spoilers for Dino Thunder. It's called Triassic mode, I believe,
Yeah.
and it's when the other two Rangers give up their powers so that the Red Ranger has like super triple power, basically.
Yeah, and he has the shield that's also a sword that I
I
think is kind of
I
cool.
like the concept. I love that the other Rangers literally have to give up their power so he becomes more powerful. Like I dig that. I think it looks pretty cool. I don't love the shield. It's definitely not my favorite. I think it's good, but not my favorite.
I like that mode um way better than the flimsy mode that I
I
agree
do
with you
too.
on.
Yes, I do too. But
Um
the power up mode with the spikes, I like the idea. I just think it looks bad when they do it.
yeah,
Let's
agreed.
check chat real quick here. Dino Thunder, Iron CNSP says Dino Thunder. To me, a battleizer has to be used by one ranger only, so I would not count overdrive as a battleizer anymore for a reason I don't want to go into. It seems well, it seems like most of us agree that if the whole team gets an identical power up, it's not a battleizer.
Oh, he's talking about the shield.
Okay. I mean, I know
The
what the shield
chromey
looks like, but
shield
I don't know
from
how it was used. But my point is,
it's
it seems like
yeah.
everybody has their own like slight distinction, but most of us agree that if the whole team gets an identical power up, it's not a battleizer.
Yeah. If
After that,
everybody gets
it's
to use it
yeah,
outside of spoiler territory again.
yeah.
In Time Force, this wasn't a battleizer, but toward the end when Eric's like, "Hey, use my quantum morpher." First of all, great scene. Second of all, not like still counts because he got to use both,
Right.
but it was only intended for one, but he like transferred it to another. Just fine by me.
Well, by that logic, in Samurai, they had the black box, which gave them, I think it was called Shogun mode or something like where
Yeah.
they got the white coat, but anybody could use it, but only one could use it at a time.
That's a hot topic.
Yeah.
I think that is a battleizer.
I think so too. I just think it's not the most impressive battleizer because it makes them stronger, but like they just get a white cloak, nothing else happens.
Well, there was that, and then there was the shark
The
mode.
shark that was only in the movie, and that I think only Jade never used that, and that was a red cloak. So again, not the most interesting.
Yeah.
And I hated the shark sword. The animation was like ridiculous.
Yeah, it looks weird.
Getting back to chat, Matt Kendall my fave battleizers were Time Force, SPD, Mystic Force, and Overdrive. That's so funny. 2 seasons I've not seen, and one that I haven't seen up to where they get the battleizer.
Yeah.
Iron CNSP Man, not the shield and Hyperforce. They did that thing with black that got to use the red. Wait, Iron CNSP Man says not the shield and Hyperforce. They did a thing with black, got to use the red battleizer. You mean
Maybe
Yeah.
Maybe that was in Hyperforce. I don't know.
I actually have not finished Hyperforce, to be honest, so I don't remember that part.
I started it and I'm 30 seconds in. Or sorry, 30 minutes in.
Oh, I've watched a lot more than that, but I haven't
Oh, I
finished it.
know.
From Overdrive. Okay. Mechanical Claire Super Samurai mode was the black box mode. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Shark Attack mode was used, I think, in the season. Okay, I thought it was just in the crossover, but either way, it was a different version of that because both of them were like, "Hey, my sword's powered up and I have a cloak." And they were different, but
Yeah.
they both did the same basic thing in that sense. Iron Seams fan Green used it to close the final with the Larn.
The
Close to
finale with
close to the
Lauren.
finale with the Larn. Gotcha. Akidragu says my favorite battleizer is Shogun mode. Oh, I do like Shogun mode from Samurai. The only problem with Shogun mode, I think it looks cool, similar to Mega mode, which I like Mega mode a lot, but it's only used in the cockpit. So it's like this really
Yep.
cool armor mode that they can never use outside of it. But I aesthetically, I like Mega mode and I do like Shogun mode. I agree with that. Um,
What is my least favorite aesthetically? Probably Dino Charge.
when Tyler's the
Yeah.
carnival mode, I like it.
Yeah.
I think it's fun.
Because it's so gaudy looking, that's why you like it.
I think
It's
so. Yeah.
ridiculous, which is why you like it.
Yeah,
That's
it's
why I
true.
don't like
I do think it's kind of fun. It's not my favorite, but I definitely don't
Yeah.
dislike it. Getting back to this, whatever it is, a power up or a battleizer, I like
Back
it.
to the matters
Yeah.
at hand.
I like it. I like the design. It's sort of sleek
Yep.
and it's armored up. It's almost like a Kamen Rider look, you know.
Yeah.
What I don't like though is I'm imagining this is U.S. only. I don't know for sure, but I imagine it is.
Probably.
I can tell it's like Ava foam that's been like dipped in plastic. It looks like a prop or a cosplay,
Yeah.
which I know it is, but usually I don't know. There's something like when I look at it, I'm like, oh, I can
Well,
make that, you know?
So
Like,
here's my logic behind it.
Yeah.
So the great and terrible thing about American renditions of Power Rangers is they always have American only versions or weapons or things like. The problem is the Sentai team is so good at making things
Right.
that the American team, more often than not, just can't replicate it. The only time they got close is with Titanium. So when
Yeah.
it comes to these other modes, they look good, but they don't look nearly as good as actual like battleized or powered up modes.
Right, but
from the original Sentai.
usually it's a lot more expansive. They have like crazy rocket launchers, wings, and it's like there's all this stuff so you could kind of forgive it and say, oh, it's different. But this is so
Yeah.
small and compact. It's just armor. And so it's
Yeah.
like much more noticeable. And I go to a lot of conventions and I know cosplayers. So like I personally couldn't do this, but I know people that can do that. And so it's just like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the design. It's kind of like what I was saying with the spikes in Dino Thunder. I like the design on paper, but when I'm looking at it in action, it just looks a little cheap to me.
That wouldn't have been in the Sentai though.
Regardless, it still looks a little cheap to me.
It
Maybe it
looks
was in the
wonky, yeah.
Sentai and they replicated here. I don't know. But he goes in and he starts kicking some butt finally, and he does this crazy flying like side jump, like which I don't even know if that's wire work or if it's a wire work mixed with CGI, but it's like some physics defying craziness which we haven't seen in quite
Yeah.
a while. Like we see Zoe do it all the time, but she has jumping powers. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it, but it was just weird. I wanted him to go in and have like super cheetah punches and just do a lot of super speed crazy stuff. But
Yeah.
you know,
Like the
whatever.
Flash just.
Yeah. And so he gets blasted again with the horn, and then he does this thing. Oh no, I'm sorry. He calls on the cheetah blades. I do think it looks better once he gets the blades on it because it like kind of
Yep.
completes the look. And the blades look good as a prop. They look solid. They might be from Sentai. I don't even know. They look fine. It's just the armor looks a
Yeah.
little chintzy. So he gets punched, and he flies up, and this is my least favorite part of the fight scene because he gets punched and he goes flying way up, and then he turns like he comes back down with like a power punch, but it wasn't like he went straight up and came down with a punch. It was almost like he has telekinesis or something for a second. Like he flies
Yeah.
back and then goes, "Oh yeah, here I come!" Like if Superman gets punched, you could see that he turns on his flight and flies back down, and that's what this
Yeah.
looked like. But like that's not his power from the cheetah stuff. That doesn't seem to be the power. It was just
All right, now I have to be the apologist.
okay. Do it.
So similar to how when the gauntlets were overpowered in the lab,
Yeah.
they flew around. You could theoretically
just
say
energy
that he
shooting out
used
the back.
Morphex and came in.
You know what? Then they should have like Iron Man, like trails behind
I
him.
know. I'm agreeing with
That
you.
would fix it. That if he like hit it and went, that would 100% fix it. But this just looked weird. Like
Yep.
it just looked weird.
Once
But
again, saving in post because they're like,
Yeah.
a 7-year-old won't care.
true. But he flies in and he does and I do like the claw slash effects. So he flies in, he uses it, and he beats him. And I remember seeing either this picture or one similar to it where he's like posing in front like I win. And there's something awkward about the way he's holding the claws. I had said this
Yeah,
before.
they're like at a weird like outward angle.
Yeah, like if this is the claw, it should be like this. It should be like this, and it's sort of like that kind of, which it doesn't ruin it, but it's just.
I think what happened was he had to pose, and they're like, "Let us see the front of the claw," and they're like, you can't really do it without holding it like in an ungodly manner."
Right,
They're
and he
like,
didn't.
"Great, do that."
Yeah, but well, you might be right, but it's like you can see the front of the back claw. It's a little cut off in here, but you can see it fully here on the screen. Like, I don't know, it didn't need to be done that way, even if that was the direction. Let's see. Then we come back to Scrozzle. Actually, we haven't checked chat in a while, so let's see.
Yeah.
Iron Cena's P-Man says they let Hyperforce. Oh, I'm missing a few here. Akidragu, the Shogun mode. They let Jason use it in the final battle. Did he use it outside of the cockpit? Talking about Shogun mode. I don't remember that. And then Iron CSP Man, they let Hyperforce Black use Overdrive Red's Battleizer. That's why I don't count it as Battleizer. So that's what you're saying. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Mechanuclear says Fear mode is original. It's not in the Sentai as suspected. Iron CSP Man is Power Ranger original. In the Sentai, all they got the chest plate. Akidrago,
Okay.
it's still one at a time. Only oops, it just updated and I missed where I was reading. Only androids can use it. That's why Overdrive's Battleizer is a Battleizer. So again, this comes back to different people have different ideas. One person says if more than one person could use it, it's not a Battleizer. Other person says as long as only one person at a time can use it as a Battleizer, which is where I fall.
Yeah.
If Blue can borrow it from Red, that doesn't mean it's not a Battleizer, in my opinion.
True.
I understand not everyone agrees with that, but Iron CNSP claws are original as well. Yeah, but the claws were done better. I wonder if it was the same prop maker made both. But again, time, money, who knows? Matt Claire beat me to it. Yes, Jaden did use the Shogun Mountain file. Oh, it's interesting. Oh, they used it outside the cockpit. I'll have to rewatch that because it's been a while since I watched Samurai. That was like one of the first seasons I watched when I started getting heavy back into Power Rangers.
Yeah.
So I kind of forget a lot about the final battle. I just remember like the huge Zord stuff going on. But yeah, I'll have to check that out again. So we cut back to the evil dimension of evil, and Scrozzle's like, Blaze, you're an idiot. Your thing got messed up, and Blaze is trying to blame him, like, oh, your stupid Fury crystals got destroyed. He's like, yeah, you stole them from me, and then you let the good guys get one. You're the idiot.
On a monster that already got destroyed.
Right, yeah. And so he's like, all right, I luckily have a Giga Drone ready, so here we go. The alarm goes off. Commander calls Zoe, but she's like, we got hit. All our stuff is broken and wrecked, which is a little bit like, well, you have replacements, but I'm accepting that they all just took big hits and they need a moment to recover. Fine.
Yeah.
And it gives Devin a reason. I'm sending Cruz. Okay, this is the Devin and Cruz show once again. They get in the Racer Zord. I didn't get a good shot of it, but what happens is the Giga Drone is coming out of the sky like he always does. And Devin in the Racer Drone, they transform to battle mode, and he's coming in with his sword so that as it's falling, he kind of, like a baseball bat, clips him as he's coming down. Like, I'm not even going to wait till he hit the ground. Again, awesome. Why? Good strategy. Why wait? A cool shot. And he says something like a quick battle is a good battle. He hits him again. Sparks are flying. Then he gets a new sword because Tubatron wrecks his sword. So he calls on a new sword. I know you don't like that, but it's established they have an unlimited amount.
No, I'm okay with it.
Okay. At first you didn't like it.
Yeah, because I felt like originally when they were using it, they were treating each thing as if it was too disposable, whereas this is more, oh, we have a backup. Before it was like, we got 18 swords, whatever.
Right.
Just start fucking them.
I guess. Well, I feel like also this whole season is very like paramilitary, very utilitarian, this is technology we've built. Whereas like going back to Mighty Morphin, the Megazord with its sword, it was like magic. It came from the sky. There's lightning.
Yeah.
It's like this is an artifact. This is like Mjolnir, Whereas in Grid Battle Force, it's like no, these are weapons that we have created, and it's not magic. It's So I'm fine with like it fits the tone of the show. It's more like an RPM kind of feel.
Oh, you know what I want, which they probably won't do?
What?
I want at one point for them to be like, all right, we're running out of options. I need 2 swords. And then he just dual wields.
That would be awesome.
As many swords as
I
want.
agree. That would be awesome.
He throws one, gets 2, and just goes in.
Yeah. Oh, so it would be 3, like he, boom, and you see the enemy kind of maybe block the first one, and by the time they turn around, they're getting pummeled in the face with the other 2.
Or there's like 3 Giga Drones up, and he's the last one learning how to do it. Oh, that'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. Or even you could get the other Megazords, the silver and gold, and give each of them a sword too. Like here, let's go.
Cool. You know why that probably won't happen though?
Sentai.
Gun save the day.
Gun save the day. That's true. Even when they use the sword, they have to use a gun to fire the sword.
Yup.
Excuse me. Matt Kendall-Clare, here's my fun fact, which is regarding Tubadrone this episode, and the one from 2 weeks ago. They actually switched the footage. Our Tubadrone 2.0 was actually Sentai's first Tubadrone, and 2 weeks ago the Tubadrone was actually Sentai's Tubadrone 2.0, but they had edited the footage. Huh, interesting. I wonder if that has to do with the kid and the prop from the previous one, which is actually funny because I didn't even make the connection that episode, the Tuba Triumph, was one of the worst episodes since we came back from the break, and this is one of the best, and they both involve the Tuba monster, more or less.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's interesting they flipped them. Thanks for that fun fact, Matt Kendall-Clare.
I guess you could say sometimes the tuba gives a high note, and other times it ends on a low note.
So he wants to use his sword, so he has to call a gun, the Cheetah Blaster, to use it, which we've discussed before ad nauseum how it makes no sense. But
Yeah.
he's not in the Megazord. He's just in the Racer Zord, and he uses this. Have we seen this before? I always thought the Cheetah Beast Blaster powers up because you see Zoe like powering up the sword and like they're doing all the things, and then the sword comes out and he sort of swings it while he fires. It's the same concept, but this isn't the Megazord. Is this new?
I thought he always did it not in the Megazord.
Did he? I thought, because I know originally like he didn't have the Megazord yet, but I thought he didn't use the Beast Blaster until later. Maybe he did.Maybe we just haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah, because there was a long time they didn't even make the Megazord and he did
No,
it.
I know that. I thought he wasn't using the Cheetah Beast Blaster though, but I guess I might be misremembering. I'm sure someone. in
No,
chat
he
can
always
correct.
was, unfortunately.
Matt Claire, you're welcome, and good bad joke defender. And Matt Claire, yes, I'm pretty sure we have. And Aki Drago, he always did. Okay, so I didn't remember.
Ninja Steel.
Yeah, well done. You get a Ninja Steel point. He
Finally.
beats him as always. There's a cool pose where he's like, virus eliminated.
Yeah.
Then we're back
Which
to
is
the.
so funny that they had the 2.0, which was easier to kill than the 1.0.
Once he was powered up. Oh yeah. Well, yeah, because he wasn't powered up, and they beat him with just one Zord. I guess it just goes to show that the only thing 2.0 about him was the Fury Cell. Otherwise, he was just the same exact monster, only
Yeah.
weaker. So we cut back to the gym, and Zoe and Nate are there, and they're talking about the whole blackmail thing, and like, oh, that was a bummer and whatever. And Nate's like, I don't understand why you let her blackmail you. Like this is kind of what we were saying. It's like it didn't seem like that big a deal. We were just friends going to the movie. Like, who cares? And she's like, well,
Yup.
here's the thing, Nate. I love you. Now, she doesn't come out and say that, but she says, I knew you were going to the movie, so I went there to meet you on purpose because, like,
Yeah.
I like
They
like
keep
you.
saying, I don't like you. I like you like
I like you like you. I like you like you. And which, again, makes more sense because when we were talking about earlier, oh, they went to the movies together. So what? Oh, we shared a jacket. I've done that before. Like, and it is innocent, except it
Yeah.
it resonated
Unless
with her
one
and
has-
scared her
yeah.
because in her mind it was a date. I do like him. So it was true, even though Nate didn't know that and we didn't necessarily know that. Oh, there's the
Yeah.
finished art for Jungle Fury Blue, by the way. It was about 3 or 4 hours of work that's condensed down to about 1 hour right there.
Yeah.
And so she puts it on the line, and then Nate's like, oh, and then Steele's like, what do you think they're talking about? Ha ha ha. And Nate's like,
Oh, wait. His lead-in was great. It's like,
yeah.
and I said to the robot, you can't be a robot. You must be another type of being.
Yeah, because I'm a human, and yeah, it's just like this whole background thing. But basically, but Nate reciprocates, and he says like, yeah, me too. I don't have a shot of it, unfortunately. But Nate's like, I like you too. I'm the one who sent you those flowers 10
On
episodes ago,
Valentine's
which
Day.
again, awesome callback. And then Nate's like, what do you think they're talking about? I heard that there was talk of them dating or something. And they're like, couldn't be. Which is kind of jerky. Like, why not? Why couldn't they be dating? There's no reason.
Because they're just a bunch of dudes hanging out, not understanding the likes.
They're like true. But I hope it doesn't become something where they have to keep it secret because of the stupid rules.
Oh, 100% they will.
And then Ravi's gonna get involved and yeah, it's gonna be a mess. It's gonna be a mess.
Here's what's going to happen. I'm calling it now.
Yeah.
Robbie's going to get involved because he's going to say, no, you can't date because I had to break up with Roxy and blah, blah. And then they're going to develop his character and make us try to like him. And he's going to be like, no, you should just love to love. And I'm sorry, Mom. And I can't listen to you because they care about each other. And you made this rule and I hate it. Now I'm miserable. And I'll never see Roxy again. And like 3 episodes later, he'll be like, oh, no, I'm not a bad guy anymore. And I'm back, Robbie. And he'll be like, oh, no, now I have to address my feelings. And then that'll be the end of season 1.
And then,
Power
but
Rangers
then
Beast
we'll see
Morphers.
Megan talking to Scrozzle. Like,
No, she'll just run up and just kick Roxy out of the way and be like, "Oh, I'm here!" Just
she'll
out
have
of
like
nowhere,
a
just
whip for some reason. Yeah. So, yeah, overall, I like this episode a lot. I had a couple little
Yep.
nitpicks with some of the logic stuff. Oops, shouldn't have done that. Some of the logic stuff, but solid overall. Good character development, good human stuff. All good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing Iron CNS P-Man said, Tubitron 2.0 didn't even have the
Oh, that's
blast upgrade.
true.
I think this goes back to what Matt Kendall Clare said, though, of the reason this Zord battle was so easy is because it was
It was
supposed to be the
first.
first one.
Agreed. Yeah, that makes sense.
So,
All right, so that's it for the review. We're almost out of time, but do you want to talk news a little bit? I feel like you got something to say here.
I would love to.
Okay, I'm going to give you a one shot. Go for it.
I'm going to go through this a little quick. So, we announced a while ago, shared the news that there's a Power Rangers Ninja Turtles comic book crossover
Yes.
coming very soon from Boom Studios. What you may not have known is that there are going to be not one, not two, not three, you guessed it, 4 different variant covers for every issue where it is the Ninja Turtles holding Ranger helmets.
Which we had
So
kind of
if you
speculated on, too.
Yeah, well, I thought it was only going to be one. Turns
Right.
out, I think they're doing it for every issue, which is incredibly smart. And you're not going
terrible.
to get me this time, Boom. You're not getting me. I'm not
Wait
buying.
for the trade? You going to wait for the trade?
Probably. I'm not going to buy. I'm going to get at least one helmet cover with it. Probably red because I'm me. But
Right.
I'm not going to buy 4 of each issue every time. I'm just not doing it.
No, that's a lot.
So there's that. I know we talked about it in the past. Read The Psychopath if you haven't. Some people have mixed reviews on it. I thought it was enjoyable, especially if you can get it less than retail. I highly recommend it.
I'm about halfway through it. Actually, related to that, on the Facebook group, I put a link. Patrick David, who plays Psycho Red, is doing a giveaway right now. A signed copy of the regular and a signed copy of the exclusive hardcover. All you got to do is leave a comment on his Instagram. So if you don't have it and you want to possibly get a free signed copy, there you go.
Yes, please do.
Yeah.
What? Toy news.
Yes.
We got official images of Wave 3 of the Legacy Collection.
Indeed.
We have Lord Draken. We have Mighty Morphin Red as Jason. We have not Ninja Steel, Dino Charge Gold, Sir Ivan. And we have my favorite Ranger, Sarcasm, Full Effect. Beast Morphers Blue, Ravi.
But you know what? It does have your actual favorite Ranger in the same wave to balance it out, basically.
It's true. It is pretty funny. So those are coming out soon. You can pre-order them now in places like Big Bad Toy Store. Amazon had them for pre-order for a while. Entertainment Earth, I believe, has them. You'll be able to buy them at retail as well. But if you don't want to wait and you want to lock it in, I don't recommend pre-ordering with GameStop because I don't recommend pre-ordering anything with GameStop anymore. That's a whole other thing.
I recommend pre-ordering exclusives from GameStop, but these are not exclusives, so there's no reason. Plus, GameStop typically charges $1 or $2 more per figure, so I only like to get figures there that are exclusive or that are otherwise hard to get. A lot of people are disappointed in 2 things. One, that the Jason figure, the Red Ranger, comes with the Jason head and not the Rocky head. Yeah, I was gonna say Steve Cardenas head. The Rocky head. I understand why, because a lot of people like me got the 2-pack, so I already have this head, but more people did not. And we're also going to be getting Zeo Blue, and Zeo Blue is going to have the Rocky head. So worst case scenario, you can I'm trying to find a picture on our website here, on our Facebook page, I should say. You could get 2 Zeo Blue and use that if you had to. I mean, I hate having to spend that money, but there will be a Rocky head, is my point, that can be used. Sorry, I was unprepared for news. Oh, here it is. So this was the announcement. That's the turnaround, and then I think I have the actual picture somewhere down further. Well, this is going to be a GameStop exclusive, though, the Zeo Blue. So this is where I say I would pre-order. Big Dog hates GameStop. I don't love them.
I'm not pre-ordering from them ever again.
Like I said, I only pre-order because I want to be sure to get the exclusives. If it's not a pre-order, then I don't. And my GameStop will get me the exclusives, even if it's a little bit late or something. So there's that. Let me get back to our 2-shot. I think we missed some chat real quick.
One thing before we get to chat, you had mentioned GameStop charging a little bit more.
Yes.
Everywhere is going to start charging a little bit
about
more.
About $1.50 more.
Due to, long story short, recent
international tariffs
with China. Hasbro is raising the price of each of their figures from 19.99 MSRP to 21.49
That's Marvel
MSRP
Legends and Lightning Collection and
in
Black
Black
Series,
Series.
everything. Yeah. We kind of knew
Honestly,
this was coming eventually.
yeah, it was coming eventually. The price increase isn't as dramatic as I thought, which is good. I honestly
Agreed.
thought they were going to go the way of GameStop and just bump it up to $23 a
But
figure,
that
and we'd
means
have to suck it up.
but now GameStop is probably going to be like 24.50 or 25 or something.
Yeah,
Which again, if it's an exclusive, I don't like it, but I'll deal with it. But
yeah,
the one good might be that like if there's a character from a wave that like you can't get, maybe because it's $25 at GameStop, you might be able to get it for 25 instead of from a scalper for 30 or 35.
exactly.
But in chat, let's see. Yeah, we missed a bunch. Blah, blah, blah. Matt Kinclair, wonder if the Lightning Collection news is coming. Yeah, there you go. Aki
Yep,
Dragu, Dan Southworth, Eric the Quantum Ranger actor is voicing himself in Battle for the Grid. Awesome. I love
he
how
is.
much they're bringing back older actors to do the actual voices. Iron Cena's fan, I like the Psychopath. I think it's good. I don't know how I feel about it as a Psycho story, though. Okay.
Yeah,
Matt Kinclair, Hasbro must be bugging Defender. Probably depends on the GameStop since some stores are bad. Yeah. Again,
yeah.
my GameStop seems to be better than his GameStop, but overall, if it's an exclusive, what are you gonna do? Like you're just hoping for the best and you get lucky, but sometimes you don't. Like those turtle figures were really hard to get if you didn't pre-order them, for example.
True. Well,
Now
we ordered ours online. We didn't even pre-order.
right. Well, and like when Goldar came out, if you didn't get him, he was impossible to get, and then some people were not getting orders and stuff. But now the second wave came out, and we've both seen him just in stores.
Yeah,
But it depends on how sure you want to be. I hate paying scalper aftermarket prices. I
I
would
agree.
rather deal with GameStop than pay some jerk who bought it so that I couldn't an extra $10 or $15.
Yeah.
That's where I fall on this. Um, let's see. Matt Kendall Clare said, "Oh, actually I missed a few." Iron Steam fan. So Hasbro is meant to be doing more cons in Europe this week, apparently. Oh, really? It just did too, and that's where we got the news of Zeo Blue and some other stuff. So
Mhm.
if there are more coming, then I guess there'll be more news coming, which is cool.
So here's kind of something for chat and you
Yeah,
that you and I haven't discussed. So it said that Zeo Blue is fall 2020.
yeah, I know that's so far away.
So I'm really hoping because I know a while ago we saw the leaked list, quote unquote,
Yeah,
of the new waves of
I
Lightning
think that's
Collection.
accurate.
I get that they don't want to overload us all at once, and
Right.
I appreciate that. But at the same time, if we're gonna get through hundreds of characters, we gotta release a little bit
But
more than we've been doing.
they have been stepping it up because they're only having four per wave, which seems like not a lot. But think about it, they have four per wave. Then they had the Tommy 2-pack with the putties. They had the
Yeah,
Lost Galaxy 2-pack with the Psycho Ranger. Then they had the
yeah,
exclusive Goldo, the exclusive Blue Psycho. Like so, even though the wave only has four, with the 2-packs and the exclusives, then the 2-pack from Comic Con as well. Now,
yeah,
understandably, not everybody can get all of these necessarily, but they have
yeah.
put out a lot of figures for like about a year now. They've been putting it out, and we've got like what 20 figures or so.
So this is something that is very speculative. So the way we're used to Hasbro when it comes to Black Series and specifically Marvel Legends is they show us a lot of stuff in
True.
advance.
Yes.
They have not been doing that with Rangers, which the part that I don't know is, are they trying to keep it a secret until the last minute,
Hmm.
which is fine as long as the release schedule is still the same, or are they honestly pumping them out way slower and that's why we're not
I
seeing as
think it's a
much
little bit of
previews?
both. I think it's a little bit of
Okay.
both. And I was looking at the Hasbro Wave 4. I have it up on the screen now, where Blaze, Mighty Morphin Yellow, Zeo Blue, and SPD Red, which seems to be confirmed. But the interesting thing is that they had Zeo Blue as part of the regular wave. If
Yeah.
Zeo Blue is now confirmed as an exclusive, that means there could be another one in this wave that we don't know what it
Yep.
is yet. So that's
I'm
awesome.
gonna go with a Dino Thunder probably.
Really? Not
Yep.
Dino Charge to keep working on that team? Make it like a
Um,
Yoshi, like a blue?
no, I mean I'll be happy to be wrong, but
Right.
I think if they're depending on
I hope they don't do
how
Dino Thunder because they've been double dipping a lot on what already came out in the Legacy Collection. And at
yeah,
first it's cool because they're just like dunking in Saban's face. But I'm fine leaving my Legacy Collection on my shelf while I get new figures. I'd rather that than just replace all of them right away. So I'm watching Dino Thunder. I like Dino Thunder. I have the entire team in the Legacy Collection. I don't really
yeah.
need an upgrade right now. Hello to Airzuki with a little cat emote. Iron CSP man, I don't expect anything major from major for the world and more for European countries. Aki Dragu says, according to Boom Studios, they might be doing more comics of other seasons of Power Rangers. Probably depends on how
Hope
Psychopaths. I hope so
so.
too. go. They should. They absolutely should.
Yes.
And even if they do them as limited series and then just get the popular ones full series, whatever. I'm
Yes.
actually more of a fan of limited series sometimes because they could concentrate on having a beginning, middle, and end of a good story rather than have to keep
Exactly.
it going forever. Iron CNSP Man, I think it might be the UK release, as I haven't seen Wave 1 for the Lightning Collection over here. Wow, really? You haven't seen Wave 1? That's terrible.
Wow.
I didn't realize you guys were so far behind. Well, I'm sorry about that. And you might have to order some online then.
Yeah, I would say Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazon UK. I know that actually pertains to you then. Amazon UK. I don't know how valid it is, but people have been posting that the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive 2-pack set has been available through that at roughly retail.
Right.
So I would check that out for sure.
Oh, definitely. That
to
2-pack
see.
goes for a lot over here now. So if you could get it for retail, get it if you're not sure if you want it, and then worst case you sell it later. But like you're not going to get stuck with it. That's for sure.
And especially if you haven't had anything, assuming everything's available at the same time, but budget's the only thing to be wary of. Personally, I would recommend the 2-pack if you can get it, just because it's got a bunch of accessories and it's awesome. The Lord Zed's an awesome figure.
Lord Zed has still, even though he wasn't an exclusive, has been really. I've never seen him like. I got
he's
my
less
GameStop.
Than retail on Amazon right now.
What's that?
He's $18 on Amazon right now.
Well, that's great, but I have seen him in a store once ever. So
I've seen him a couple times, I think.
Similarly, I haven't seen Mighty Morphin Pink anywhere, which is part of the current wave.
I saw it once at GameStop, and I didn't want to get it twice at GameStop
because it was overpriced. Same, yeah. Well, I haven't seen it, but I would have done the same thing. Although at this point, I might bite the bullet and do it because I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. But Iron CNSP Man clarifies Wave 1 is out. He just hasn't. They haven't seen them locally. And they don't care for Rangers. They prefer Megazords. I like both, so I'm in big trouble money-wise. Actually, my UK friends have gotten them in stores. Lord Zed and Emperor Pink are made one half the quality of others.
Yeah.
Quantity of others. That's weird, especially Mighty Morphin characters. What? You cut out there, Big Dog. Can you hear me? Uh-oh. Big Dog is caught in some kind of quantum vortex. I think he thinks he's off. Okay, I'm gonna.
You're cutting out on my end.
I'm gonna go to a guest. Oh, whoops! I'm gonna go to a one shot for me. Hopefully, you guys can all still hear me. We're near the end of the show. One other thing I was going to talk about, still on the toy front, was Walgreens announced a while back that they were going to have Zack Black Ranger.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, you're super choppy and delayed on my.
Are you watching it on Twitch? In chat, okay. In chat, do I sound okay? Let me know, because I assume I'm okay, and he's just having connectivity issues. Matt Kendall Clare says, I like Rangers and Zords, so I'll be in the same money trouble the Gaz will have. Yeah. I do get more Rangers than Zords because it's more affordable, but I definitely get a bunch of Zords. Iron CNSP Man, Gaz, okay. Mac, okay, thank you. So hopefully he can get it put together, but we were getting towards the end of the show anyway. Walgreens announced, well, they announced this. I got it. This is Zack Black Ranger with the head. It's not Adam. It would be cool if he had both, but I imagine maybe they'll release the non-Dragon Shield with Adam's head. I like Zack, but I am more of an Adam fan, if I'm being honest. But I got
Adam,
it.
I think we're going to get in Zeo.
Oh, he's back. Yeah, oh, that makes sense, too. Hey,
yeah.
How you feel? It was on you. Chat confirms it was not my issue.
Okay.
Yours.
Sorry. So for the other heads, I can't think of anybody in particular that we're going to have an odd time getting just their head. Like, at some point, the way for people
Magna
that
Defender.
had overlaps in powers.
Mike from Magna Defender.
We're never going to get a Mike head.
That's okay with you?
I'm not saying it's okay. I'm saying it's not.
Well, you said
happen.
I'm having a hard time thinking of a head we're going to have a hard time getting, and I'm saying that is the head.
Here's what I meant. I meant for overlapped powers.
Okay.
Like Rocky, we're getting in Zeo. Adam, I think we're going to get in Zeo because Zack getting a Mighty Morphin.
But
and then Turbo probably going to get Carlos.
Yeah.
And then
no, Turbo. Well, I was thinking in space. Yeah, I see what you're saying though, that they overlap. But some characters, like Adam, like his hair changes between the different seasons, and like Tommy too. So like for example, with Tommy, we got the white and the Green Ranger, and it's the same exact head. And I wish one had longer hair and one had shorter hair. So that kind of thing will bug me a little bit. But I'll be happy at least if we get some representation of everybody.
Yeah.
But we do have to start wrapping up. But I just wanted to say again, Walgreens. I don't know if they're still available. They were available online. You could order them free shipping if you bought two. So
Yep.
if you only bought one, you had to pay shipping. But I got this, I don't know, 3 or 4 days ago. The exact day
Same.
I got it, I went into my Walgreens and they had 5 of them. The next Walgreens had 0. So who knows? Walgreens is weird, but it's
Yeah.
easier to get than some exclusives. Like a Walmart exclusive is like notoriously difficult to get. But if you want this, check online first, and if you got a buddy you could buy two, then you get free shipping, or you want to sell one, whatever. But Walgreens does have them right now, depending on your particular Walgreens. So that's something else to look out
Yep.
for. I'm gonna catch up on chat. You think if you have a final thought there, Big Dog? Let's see. Big Dog has issues. Erzuki, oh boy, Big Dog internet sucks. Color me shocked. Yeah, Big Dog lives in Evox territory. Like the evil zone of cyber evil. Like it's so
That's in
close
my
to his house.
backyard.
Yeah, it's so close that every now and then you see the red light just shining in from his window. And then Iron CNSP Man or go the Zeo Turbo route. True. Matt Clear Defender always has the Evox virus. Yep. Iron CNSP Man, Solar Ranger Magnum Defender. Oh, yeah, that would give us a Mike Head. If they go comic book route, that's a comic book version of that character, is what he's discussing, and that
Oh,
would be a way we can get
honestly,
Mike Head.
that'd be so cool.
Well, Lord Draken is the first step into comic book universe, and we'll see how it goes from there. I feel like the next one they would do would be Ranger Slayer, but
If they don't do a Ranger Slayer in the next year, I may flip a table.
they're foolish because we do have a Lord Draken. Not everybody has him, but he
Oh.
exists. So Ranger Slayer should be the next one, and plus they could reuse Mighty Morphin Pink, whatever. But the point is that opens the door that they might start doing the Solar Rangers and things like that. Aki Dragu says, yeah, if they make a figure that, get a Mike Head. So that might be the only way we get a Mike Head then, outside of some other head pack they release at some point. But
Ooh.
we're going pretty
I have
long.
a call shot and then I'm done.
Do it.
Solar Ranger is going to be Power Con 2020 exclusive.
Like a set of 5
That would be great. I'm
or
thinking just
6.
purple.
Okay. I think that would be terrible. I mean, it'd be good, but it would be terrible for all the people that want it. I guess it depends on the fan base, because like the TV show characters, there's a bigger fan base than the comic show characters. But I also think there are people that will just buy it for the toy, even if they haven't read the comic or whatever. They're just like, well, I want to get all of them. So I don't know. Because like for example, I bought the Ninja Storm Legacy figures before I saw that season. I've since seen it, but I was like, well, I know I'm gonna want them eventually, so I could see people buying it. Like, I hope you're wrong for the people who aren't going to be able to go to Morphicon. I hope you're right, because I do want them to make a figure of that character in general.
That's what they did with Draken.
Yeah, and people didn't like that very much, did they?
Some people loved it, other people hated it.
Yeah, but there were 8 Solar Rangers. Okay, so but they're not going to release them all at once unless it was a big pack, because like they've been not doing it the way the Legacy collection was, where they were filling out teams. They've been doing it the Hasbro Marvel Legends way, which I honestly think is better. It's a little bit of a bummer that you have to wait so long to fill out a team, but it's not like, oh, I'm not into this team now, I got to wait 3 years till I get to a team I like, and it's a little bit, I don't know, it's a little more fun that way, I think.
I feel much better about it with Hasbro because I have so much more confidence in Hasbro than I did in Bandai.
Yeah, me too. I knew it was going to be better, and it is better, and I'm fine. I agree that they could release a few more rapidly, but I think they're still ramping up, and I think it's going to be fine. Akidragu, and I'd also rather they put out a little bit less and not get a loss where that makes them question everything. Like if they have to roll them out a little slow and this is how they're making money, that's fine. I don't want it like, because we've seen Marvel Legends where a bunch of waves come out and like a month later they're all $5 and it's like, I don't want to see that for the Ranger figures, because that's gonna not bode well for the line in the long term. Aki Dragu says Zeo Golden and Mempar 2 packs are available in some stores, which is crazy because it's not supposed to be, but if you see it, I would grab it. There's always a chance it has Repulse. Also true, if you have a membership, it's free shipping, and just randomly popping up in stores. Matt and Claire, I think we all have more confidence in Hasbro than we did in Bandai. Maybe here we do, but I remember when it was happening, people were losing their minds and being upset about it.
We both had like the weirdest debates with people about it, where we're like, why? And they like their reasons. And you guys know how I argue. Sometimes I just argue for the sake of arguing. But they're like, oh, I don't know, like, and we're like, they've done Marvel Legends well, they've done Black Series well, they've done wrestling, they've done all this or no, I think Mattel was wrestling.
Yeah. But they would say like Hasbro sucks, and we'd be like, what about
it's like, oh, I don't know. And it's like,
yeah, and meanwhile, these are the same people that were complaining about Saban Bandai not doing the Zords well enough and not having a good distribution of different characters and the paint apps and and luckily we were proven right and most people are on board now, but there were a lot of people that were very upset about it. I think it's mainly because of sentimentality of, hey, it's been Bandai since I was a kid, which okay, if Bandai was still doing a good job, fine, but we're over an hour. We're getting close to an hour and a half now, so we gotta stop. I gotta go eat dinner and do some other things.
Same.
So we'll be back next week. I'm not sure about the week after. I'm going to Ranger Stop. Big Dog is not. I will be selling my art there, the art you see me working on, as well as other art, and I will be hosting an Action Activate live panel. The Big Dog won't be there, so it'll be interesting to see what happens when it's just me. But if you're in Orlando,
It'll be much more calm and tame.
I should just find, if I see an angry guy in the audience, be like, you come up here, you sit here and argue with me.
You are my angry co-host surrogate.
Exactly. But so that's the weekend of the 9th and 10th, I believe. So if you're in Orlando, you should check it out. And if you're there, and come by and say hi to me. Meanwhile, we'll see you next week for more Beast Morphers goodness. I have been Gazbot.
I have been the Big Dawg Defender.
This has been Action Activate and
To the power.
Now I'm going to go.
See you guys later.
Yes, later.